Welcome back. I'm Mario Anderson. On today's episode, we recently spent a full day traveling with Governor Matt Bevin to find out what a day in the life of Kentucky's top elected official entails. Part of our day with the governor included visiting Mason County Middle School, where the governor listened to students as they shared why topics like the opioid crisis, criminal justice reform, and several others should be a top priority for him and other lawmakers.
These kids were asked for this round to identify a problem in the community and then in 3 minutes talk about what their solutions are for that problem. Every single one of these kids put their finger right on the pulse of something real in the community. It might be the opioid crisis. It might be the fact that kids, are increasingly addicted to Juuls and this kind of flavored nicotine vapor that they're using frankly, even in the middle schools now. They were things of this sort that it's important to hear from the kids and to hear their ideas of what can be done. So I was proud of them. I'm encouraged. Kentucky, we are blessed. We've got great resources across the board in Kentucky.
And would you say your vision for workforce development trickles down to young teenagers, just like we saw?
Absolutely. Oh, no question. In fact, the biggest mistake that a lot of states make and that we have historically made is that you wait until a kid graduates from high school before you start talking to them about what their career possibilities might be. We need to start getting young people, men and women, inside of the Kentucky Welding Institute, inside the International Paper Plant, inside of, whatever, fill in the blank, as well as onto college campuses, because not every kid is going to go immediately into a 4-year college program. There are any number of different pathways through which people can pursue very value-added and rewarding careers, and we want to connect them to that, starting in the middle school grades and even lower, if it makes sense, with coding and IT-related training. There's so much that we can do, but it starts with basic fundamental skills like reading and math and things that we can't forget about in our desire to focus on a whole lot of other things as well.
And a year ago when we spoke, you shared about the importance of apprenticeships. The Welding Institute, obviously, they have a nice program, the paper facility, but many other locations like that across the state. Are these key to the economic growth of our state and even helping bring new businesses into the bluegrass?
Absolutely. Workforce, you talk to any governor in America, the #1 issue they wrestle with is workforce development. And Kentucky is leading the way in many, many respects. And as it relates to apprenticeships, there is no state in America that is doing what we're doing with the speed and the focus and the success that we're having. And Derek Ramsey, who oversees this first in labor, but now as the Secretary for Education and Workforce Development, this is a passion of his. And Secretary Ramsey is focusing on this not only with the employers, but the schools, and getting them connected so that we are able to meet the students where they are. In apprenticeships, you have a chance to actually earn while you're learning. And that's something that has been missing for a long time here in Kentucky.
Are you getting feedback from other governors and leaders across the country about things that are happening here in Kentucky?
Yes, in fact, on this front and on others as well. We have recently, on a different front as it related to health care and the ways in which we're dealing with Medicaid in this state, in the ways in which we're connecting that to workforce development through this 1115 waiver. We recently had, I think, 12 or 14 different states flew people in here and spent 2 to 3 days with our team learning about what we're doing because they want to replicate it. And these are states led by Republicans and Democrats alike, because workforce development is the $64,000 question for everybody in America.
Now, as we get closer to 2019, we've just recently, the Republican House and the Senate just elected the new leaders for this upcoming session in the next couple of years. Thoughts on the folks that are in those positions?
Great, they're excellent, and I've been in touch with every single one of them. I'm excited, I'm looking forward to working with them. We have a lot of wood to chop, a lot of things to get done on all these topics we're talking about, and so many more. We've still got to address and modernize our tax code. We've got to fix this pension crisis. We've got to be able to address tort reform, and we've got to create an environment in which we continue to cut regulation and red tape. We want to be able to invest more into education and infrastructure, making sure that we serve those who serve us by taking care of them. There's so much yet to be done. We've made tremendous strides. There's not a state in America that has done more in the last 2-3 years in terms of changing their trajectory. on everything, including per capita income, in terms of just the quality of life and all these things that we're doing, the amount of capital being invested, the number of jobs being created. Pound for pound, there's no state in America doing what we're doing, and yet we're just getting started. So this is a great group of not only the leadership in the House and the Senate, but the incoming legislature. I'm looking forward to getting a lot done with them in the next year or two.
You've obviously mentioned the pension crisis. It's with the Supreme Court still, but are you confident that they're going to rule on your side of that?
I have no degree of confidence or lack thereof. What I do believe is the law matters.
Coming up, Governor Bevin shares his thoughts on the state Supreme Court's upcoming pension decision. Plus, we ask him about future educators and their concerns about the pension crisis.
So this argument that somehow we're not going to be attractive is ridiculous.